Good day, everyone. I am Dr. John Erickson Policarpio. I am the program chairperson for Tourism and Hospitality Management Department of PATS College of Aeronautics. And it is my pleasure to be with you today. And thank you very much to the administrators of Northwest Samar State University for inviting me to be your guest speaker for today's event. And I am tasked to deliver a lecture for Philippine Tourism Trends, packages, and operations. So when I received this invitation, actually, I'm quite curious about the combination of the topics, mixing tourism trends with packages and basically the context of operations in our industry seems to be a new topic for me. And definitely, I'm quite challenged to create a presentation that would match the event theme today. I believe you guys are having your expo, so congratulations to all of the organizers and also the participants. So without further ado, let me start my presentation by highlighting the key topic for my discussion. So upon contemplating on the topic that was given to me, I believe that it is best that I start my presentation by analyzing the current situation of the Philippine tourism industry. Also, with the recent developments um of our current administration, I would also want to share with you guys some snippets about the National Tourism Development Plan for 2023 up until 2028, and also some criticisms about um the content, okay, the initial content that we have received from the March 15 declaration or proclamation of the NTDP 2023 to 2028. And then I'll go through some emerging tourism products and markets that I believe would be the focus of my presentation. And also, I would like to introduce tourism and technology because, what we all know, we are moving towards a different era in terms of technological advancement, and with the rise of the artificial intelligence as part of our workplace and as part of our industry advancements, it is best that we deal with this thing also. Okay. So without further ado, let's start my presentation of the Philippine tourism situation, mainly from the Department of Tourism's report in December of 2022. There are about 2.65 million international visitor arrivals here in our country, and basically it have contributed to 214 and approximately 214 billion pesos tourism revenue. So this data is was derived from the Department of Tourism's website, and if we're going to look at this data, it have exceeded the 2022 target, which is basically it exceeded the target by 30%. Okay. So looking at that trajectory, we can see that the Philippine tourism industry is actually flourishing. We're moving forward after almost 3-year hiatus from brought by the COVID-19 pandemic. And um, it's very obvious that a lot of people are now traveling, even for domestic tourists and local tourists are very much engaged with the tourism industry. Just the simple staycation is actually a tourism driver. The simple movement of people really help a lot our industry. And as what we all know, if people are moving from one place to another, they contribute directly to our economy. Okay. And for our industry, this is already a good sign that we're moving forward. Okay. I also want to highlight the top markets for 2022 here in our country. And from 2.65 million, basically the 600,000 came from returning Filipinos. As what we all know, because of the relaxed travel restrictions in our country, a lot of our kababayans were actually visiting and returning to the Philippines to see their loved ones right after the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. And the remaining 2.02 million were actually divided into different foreign market segments. And the United States of America, or the Americans, basically garnered the highest number of tourism arrivals in our country at 505,000. And it is followed by South Korea. Prior to the pandemic, we're going to analyze the data. 2019, it's the South Koreans who are actually here in the Philippines, and they focus more in in leisure markets, in leisure travels, particularly in honeymoon markets, in golf markets, and also ESL, English as Secondary Language. Okay? And education tourism was actually focused more by the South Korean market. And then another interesting fact on the changes in terms of our top tourist markets is China. Okay, China is basically um they slipped to a number of places because before the pandemic in 2019, China was actually third in the ranks. So South Korea, then followed by US, and then followed by China. And now it's slipped all the way to, but still part of the top 10 tourism visitors or visitors of our country. Okay? A lot of new entrants and a lot of new markets have also emerged in our country, okay, particularly the Singaporean markets. We can see that there's an increase in terms of Singaporean markets. This is because MICE, or the Meetings, Incentives, Conventions, and Exhibitions, were actually back on track. They're moving forward, and we can see a lot of events that we host here in our country. Okay, and also, um, Australia, Canada, UK are also part of our top tourist markets. Okay, so uh, I must say that because of the COVID-19 pandemic, uh, the tourism gameplay has actually changed, and the entire playing field has actually changed. And with this changing, definitely, um, us tourism professionals are required to retrofit everything, to recalibrate our systems, to recalibrate our policies in order for us to cater to the changing demands of this market segment. Okay? And since we're talking about changes, and I'm glad to share to all of the students who's watching this video right now, and also to all of the participants of this event, that the National Tourism Development Plan has already been proclaimed and inaugurated last March 15, 2023, by no less than our Tourism Secretary, uh, Christina Frasco. Okay, so in this NTDP, as what we all know, if you guys already had your tourism policy planning and development, NTDPs usually cover 5 years. Okay, it's basically a smaller type of plan compared to a master plan. The last time that we have a master plan was actually in 1992 to 2000. Sorry, that's 1992 to 2012, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, it covers 20 years. Okay, but after that, it was not followed. It was actually replaced by NTDP of 2016. And then right now we already have our new NTDP 2023-2028. So there are actually challenges in terms of creating a plan for tourism development. No? So um with this new NTDP, basically according to Secretary Frasco, this NTDP will serve as a blueprint for the strategies on how the Department of Tourism intends to continue and to grow the impact of tourism upon our economy in the next few years. So this will be the guidebook of the industry where we put in place mechanisms for sustainability for many, many years to come. So the focus is more on sustainability, okay? Mainly because I think we are also riding the hype of the UN SDGs, or the Sustainable Development Goals. And as what we all know here in the Philippines, we have already localized that. as part of Ambition 19 2040. So the UN Sustainable Development Goals, we're actually targeting to have that sustainable life, sustainable living for everyone in this world by 2030. And as Filipinos, we have extended that up until 2040 with our Ambition Natin 2040, courtesy of National Economic Development Authority. So for us in the tourism sector, our main thrust with this new National Tourism Development Plan is to establish Philippine tourism industry anchored on Filipino culture, history, and identity. So as what you all know, we the Department of Tourism has already started um, highlighting the Filipino hospitality and Filipino identity through the Filipino brand of service excellence. So the Filipino brand of service excellence is basically a training given to tourism professionals in order for us to create that branding of Filipino hospitality and to strengthen the image of Filipino hospitality. And one good news about the Filipino brand of service excellence is that the Department of Tourism has already opened up this program to all graduating students. So I hope that the students from Region 8, okay, particularly in Northwest Samar State University, you have undergone your training or you will soon be undergoing your training for the Filipino brand of service excellence because it is really a must that we build our Filipino hospitality and we build our unique Filipino hospitality identity to strengthen our national tourism initiatives. Okay, and we also focus on culture and heritage mainly because we have a lot of resources in terms of cultural attractions and even national and natural heritage. Okay, both tangible and intangible are very much abundant in our country. Okay, and through this main um anchors, basically, the NTDP also aims to create a sustainable, a resilient, and a competitive industry, tourism industry, in order for us to transform the entire Philippines as a tourism powerhouse in Asia. Okay? It's quite ambitious, if you're going to ask me, because if we're looking at Southeast Asia, we are still trailing behind Thailand, we're still trailing behind Indonesia, and we're even trailing behind Malaysia in terms of being a destination of choice in Southeast Asia. And positioning the Philippines as a tourism powerhouse in the entire Asian continent is such a challenge for us because we will be competing not just with our Southeast Asian neighbors, but also we are going to compete also with the rest of the Asian countries, particularly the big countries with higher tourism capacity, particularly China. Okay, we also have India. We also even have the Middle East, okay, particularly Dubai and the UAE, and also even Japan and South Korea are also a competitor in terms of being a tourism powerhouse. Okay, so we hope that in the next 5 years we'll get to reach our target. Okay, now focusing on the NTDP, basically the new NTDP has established the seven goals, okay, that we have to focus on and anchor all of our initiatives as tourism professionals. Okay, so the seven goals are as follows. The first one is the improvement of tourism infrastructure and accessibility. So if you guys are taking up your tourism policy planning and development classes and your um what's the subject? Sustainable tourism, okay, ecotourism management. Basically, the focus would be highlighting tourism infrastructures and accessibility. So investment, okay, provision of tourism investment, gathering new tourism investors to invest in the Philippines and create better infrastructure, create better roads, create better facilities, in order to create a more accessible tourism in our country. Okay. Second, cohesive and to have a cohesive and comprehensive digitalization and connectivity. Let's admit the fact that the 7,641 islands of the Philippines, iilan lang po ang probinsya o mga syudad na merong maayos na Wi-Fi connection, okay, at internet connection, no? Um, Wi-Fi is now basically part of a need rather than a want. Okay, we can see that almost all of our households have internet connection, especially during the time that we all have to work from home or study from home, right? And tourism uh is not excused or it's not exempted in this advancement. A lot of challenges are still being faced by the Department of Tourism, but there are already initiatives with the Department of Tourism together and in coordination with the Department of Information Communications Technology or DICT in terms of digitalizing and also better connectivity, creating a better connectivity in different destinations. Okay. Third is the enhancement of overall tourist experience. Okay, so the enhancement of overall tourist experience as what our regional director here in NCR, particularly regional director Charlene Batin, have already mentioned to us that there will be efforts in creating a tourist call center assistance. So it's basically a call center setup wherein it helps foreign tourists to connect with someone to talk to if ever that they have experienced some mishaps while they are on tour here in the Philippines. Okay. Another thing is equalization of tourism product development and promotion. This one is basically a strong highlight in terms of the National Tourism Development Plan. The previous tourism development plan that we have in 2016 basically have created the product portfolios for our country, the tourism product portfolios. However, the initiatives or the action plans were somehow creates this, it basically has some disparities in terms of prioritization. So right now, every region has to develop and has to establish and strengthen their own tourism product portfolio. So the product portfolio of Region 8 is different from the product portfolio of NCR and all of the rest of the region. So this creates a unique product offering, highlighting a unique product offering every region, every provinces, and even every barangay level. Okay? Diversification of tourism portfolio through multidimensional tourism. Multidimensional tourism is basically, you know, demands of tourists are actually changing from time to time. You might see that their purpose of travel is business, and then somehow after they have arrived in the Philippines, they are trans transforming their motivation of travel to leisure. Okay, because of that, there are changes in terms of uh, the demands, in terms of the needs, in terms of you know the purchase behavior. So multidimensional tourism is very much important at this point in time. It does not just reflect um it does not just reflect on one type of market that fits onto one type of product. Our products should be continuous in nature. It should be continuous in perspective. And as future tourism professionals, we are highlighting this. Me as an educator, you have to create tourism circuit. Okay? Create tourism circuit, strengthen your tourism circuit together with the different provinces. If you're going to create gastronomical tourism circuit, make sure that you highlight the best of every province along the way. But so that when you prepare your tour packages, it will be very much competitive. Sooner or later, okay, actually right now we are very much the Philippines is very much uh attuned with dive tourism and also cruise tourism. There are a lot of cruise ships that are docking in Metro Manila right now for their short excursion. Ilocos is also a chosen destination. Boracay is also a chosen destination, and even Palawan for cruise tourism. Okay, for short excursion. Okay. Then number six is maximization of domestic and international tourism. So we have to strengthen the movement and the mobility of every foreign tourist and even our local domestic tourists. Let's all encourage people to visit the Philippines. And I guess that's one of the highlights of the key program of Secretary Frasco, which is the Visita Be My Guest program, wherein uh, the context or the concept of Visita Be My Guest program is um to focus on referral system. So basically, a Filipino would refer somebody to visit the Philippines. They will host them here, and then the Filipino who have hosted will just click a certain link, register, and they can win a condominium unit. Okay, and the visitor can also win something. I think they're giving away free tour packages in the Philippines. Okay, so those are initiatives that we can look into in terms of um, the NTDP 2023. And then the last one is strengthening tourism governance, okay, through close collaboration with national and local stakeholders. So at this point in time, I must say that the Department of Tourism is very much in congruence with the plans, programs, and policies of the private sectors, and particularly with different private and non-government organizations to establish a more harmonized tourism industry in our country. Okay, so just a quick background on tourism products and market. So, in 2016, there's basically we in 2016 National Tourism Development Plan, the Philippine product portfolio, the Philippine tourism product portfolio has been declared, and this has been the basis of all of the plans. So these nine Philippine product portfolios are actually the target product the the target products for development and for promotion to other specific markets. So we focus on nature-based tourism, cultural tourism, sun and beach tourism, leisure and entertainment tourism, MICE and events tourism, health and wellness and retirement tourism, cruise and nautical tourism, diving and marine sports tourism, and definitely education tourism. Okay? But if we are only just looking at the product, definitely we are losing half of our site. So we all when we are doing analysis in terms of product development, and I know you guys are very much familiar with this if you have taken your strategic management, products and market should go along. Okay. So in that context, also in the 2016 NTDP, um, there are already some product market matching activities that has been done. So as what you can see, sun and beach tourism may be offered to domestic travelers. Okay, Japan focuses on nature-based tourism, shopping tourism. South Korea focuses on education, mines, and so on and so forth. So basically, we have to match the foreign tourist markets or the tourist markets with the right products and services that we have to them. We don't just create tour packages and then just hope that this tour package will be taken by everyone. Okay. Um, just a quick advice for everyone: undifferentiated targeting or undifferentiated target marketing is no longer an effective way of targeting your consumer. The focus now is more on differentiated type of targeting. So when we say differentiated targeting, that's basically looking at a certain market, focusing on their needs and wants, understanding their buyer's persona, creating the buyer's persona, understanding their buying behavior, and we basically customize, retrofit, and upgrade our products and services to match that specific expectation of our guests. Okay. Now, I want to highlight some emerging tourism markets here in our country. Okay, we have already seen the height of leisure markets in our country way back during the pandemic. Okay, actually during the pandemic, the leisure market was the market segment that's actually thriving, mainly because a lot of people, especially for domestic travelers, they will go to certain destination just to have a breath of fresh air, but they still bring their laptops with them so that they can still work. So the work from home concept is no longer considered as work from home, but rather it can be a work from a hotel or work from a resort or work from beach. Okay. So that's basically leisure market. Okay. Solo female travelers are also um they are also flourishing in our country. So these people are more into the focus is more on rest and relaxation and finding one's purpose. Okay. Gap tourism is also evident in our country. Gap tourism is basically there are types of gappers actually. We have um pre-university gappers. When we say pre-university gappers, these are um foreign tourists who just graduated high school and they don't want to enroll into college right after their graduation, and then they just go and travel. Okay, so that's basically pre-university um gappers. We have post-university gappers, those students who finish college but they don't want to work yet. So they basically have to um um do some they have to find themselves, right? And prepare themselves before they want to enjoy they want to enjoy destinations before they go into a very tiring job in the industry. Okay, and we also have the post-employment gappers. So those people who are preparing to retire. Okay. Soon enough they will be called as geriatric tourists. So geriatric tourists are also known as senior citizen market. So gap tourism is very much existent now here in our country. And gap tourists focus more on a higher average length of stay in our country. So the higher the ALOS or the average length of stay, the more chances and the more opportunities for them to spend their money in our tourism industry. Okay? LGBTQIA plus tourism is also evident now. Um, not just not because the Philippines is actually opening its doors um to a wide range of gender identities and gender classifications, but rather it the world is becoming more open and acceptable and whatever your preferences are. Okay, and um we become more neutral in terms of those contexts. So um Philippines is now actually ready to have some LGBTQIA plus friendly destinations. And I hope that um in the next coming years there will be better opportunities for LGBTQIA plus community to travel in the Philippines. Okay. And one of my highlight, I guess, in terms of emerging tourism product is the luxury travel. This is closest to my heart because my dissertation paper focused on luxury travel markets. My paper was actually about luxury tourists, the Philippine luxury tourist influencers, motivation, and um, purchase decision. Okay, and that paper basically has have created a certain theory on how luxury travel will be sustained, okay, and how we can classify luxury tourists in the near future. So the Philippines being an abundant country in terms of its biodiversity and cultural heritage. And another key concept of luxury travel is actually inaccessibility. Sabi nga natin, no? Um, when tourists finds a destination inaccessible, it creates a mental picture that this destination will focus on exclusive tours. And exclusivity means to say that the mass tourist cannot penetrate that certain destination. It becomes more luxurious. Okay. So, in that specific context, okay, particularly in my paper, I have defined luxury tourism in an Asian academic perspective, and basically I have created the special interest tourism theory using luxury tourists as a model. Okay, so basically we can classify luxury tourism into four levels. We have the subjective luxury tourism, objective luxury tourism, affective luxury tourism, and reflective luxury tourism. And as what you can see from the pyramid or from the triangle that I have provided here, the base focuses on tourist participation. And as you move up the level in the pyramid, the tourism stakeholder engagement actually increases. Okay. So how do we simplify things? Well, basically, the theory that I have created postulates that the lesser the participants of luxury tourism may be, the higher the level of engagement between tourism stakeholders and tourists. Thus, reflective luxury tourism exists when luxury tourists are more engaged with destination stakeholders and travel providers. Okay. Um, the lesser the number of tourist participants, the more luxurious it will be perceived and the more engagements that they will be having with the destination stakeholders and travel providers so that they can create a more sustainable luxury destination. Okay? So enough with that paper, enough with the emerging trends. Let's now focus on my last topic for today. The focus is more on tourism technology. Okay, so I've included tourism technology in terms of the trends and also the operations. Soon, you will be part of the tourism industry and we will be glad to welcome you in the wonderful world of the tourism industry. And as what we always know, everything is changing. Every single minute, uh, the technology is actually changing. Okay? And when we talk about tourism technology, that's basically the use of different technological um tools and techniques in order to facilitate, enhance, and streamline the entire tourism-related services and operations. So this is through the use of the different booking engines, the World Wide Web, the mobile applications, the virtual and augmented reality or mixed realities, online payment system, contactless payment system, and even artificial intelligence. In order for us to improve customer service experience, increase efficiency in our work, and provide innovative solutions. Okay? So basically, the benefits, as what I have mentioned earlier, the benefits of using tourism technology or incorporating technology in the tourism cycle and in the tourism processes focuses more on the improved customer service and customer experience. Okay. Everything seems to be efficient now. Okay. And lastly, we create innovative solutions. Okay. So, as you guys are basically part of the Gen Z, the Generation Z are more, um, what you call this, they are more creative in terms of solving problems. Okay. So design thinking principles are already incorporated in your generation. So through the use of technology, it improves the way we think and solve a certain problem in our industry. But basically, there's still challenges in terms of using technology in tourism, particularly workforce displacement and obsolescence. Okay. If we do not upgrade our skills, definitely we will be replaced and be displaced. No? So that's one thing that we have to say. Privacy integration, even though there's existence of blockchain and all other um security tools in the World Wide Web and um in the technology, the challenge is still that there are people who are still afraid to give their personal information because of privacy and security concerns. If you can still remember, our Data Privacy Act was actually promulgated in 2012, but up until today, we are still very challenged in terms of um, enforcing the Data Privacy Act of 2012 at this point in time. Okay. And lastly, infrastructure and accessibility. So like what I've said earlier, not all destinations in the Philippines has a strong internet connection. And basically, we need to invest and capitalize more on infrastructure development, particularly ICT infrastructures, in order for us to create a more accessible tourism, not just physical accessibility, but also interconnectedness. Okay? Now, the future of tourism technology, these are the different tools that you can use and incorporate when you develop your tour packages, when you operate your tour programs, when you try to market and promote your tourism products and services. The first is through the use of AI and ML, or the artificial intelligence and machine learning. So I know you guys are familiar with ChatGPT, with OpenAI, with Midjourney, with all of this. Actually, the picture that you can see here in front of you, it was created through Midjourney. Okay, so I don't know if you guys are already familiar with Midjourney, but it's basically an AI tool wherein you just have to instruct the software and it will create photos for you the way you want it to be. Okay. Um, Another thing is, yeah, Chat GPT. It's like Google on steroids, as what we say, because it can actually help you in terms of your research, in terms of you writing some passages. But you know, machine learning and artificial intelligence are half as good as our human brains. We still control them. We still have to teach them because um um artificial intelligence still relies on human capabilities. Okay? So another thing that you can use, particularly in terms of marketing your destinations, in terms of creating your contents, is through augmented realities and virtual reality. So you can see a VR goggle here. Okay, or you can use augmented reality. You just have to scan your phone around and then you can put some objects on it so that you can visualize. Okay, people can visualize what does what Eiffel Tower would look like in just a snap of a photo, so on and so forth. Okay, and blockchain technology. So it focuses more on paywalls, certificates, creating a serial number and making sure that the information, the personal information, was actually locked up and uh secured. Okay. And yeah, okay, so basically that's the challenge of that's basically the benefits of blockchain technology. So most of the certificates now, especially with professional organizations, they use blockchain technology so that it can be verified by other people if that person was actually a recipient of a certain certificate. Okay. So in travel and tours, basically we use blockchain technology for our contracts. Okay. As what we all know, if we're just sending it on PDF, it can easily be retrofitted, it can easily be changed, your signature can easily be attached on it, and you know, um, we should say that there are some legal impediments, okay, with just the use of PDF and the use of e-signature. Kaya marami pa rin yung nagre-require talaga ng web signature. But in order for us to at least eradicate or minimize the physical contracts, the use of blockchain technology was actually being encouraged in terms of um, contract, in terms of negotiation of their products and services. Okay? Um, I would also want to highlight this as part of travel technology, the rise of the wearable. Okay, the rise of the wearable. I actually have one. Apple Watch. Okay, Apple Watch. Aura Ring. Okay, and what else? Galaxy Watch, and then soon, I think, maybe this year, in June 2023, we're still waiting for the announcement of Apple to release their VR headset. Okay, that will basically change the playing field in terms of the wearable. Okay, smart glasses. Soon enough, you will be ditching your phone. Okay, and you can just communicate using your glasses. Okay. Actually, the watches right now are very powerful. Apple Watch and Galaxy Watches. You can just leave your phone behind if you want to do some quick jog, or if you want to do some outdoor runs. You can just wear your Apple Watch with you, as long as as long as um basically it has a plan, it has a postpaid plan. You can use that to track your exercise, you can track your uh, basically your location, and you can even make calls and text and everything. It's like basically a phone, okay, on your wrist, okay. And then smart clothing, okay, will soon be existing. So basically, smart clothing, um, our clothes will soon be adapting to to the weather and the humidity. So if you will be going to tropical places, basically you get to experience um uh certain temperature change, no? So smart clothing will adapt to the weather. Okay, so it basically helps people to avoid the the challenges of changes in the weather. Okay, so yon, yung body temperature, yung humidity, and even other environmental factors. So it's good for hikers. It's good for people who are very adventurous and who loves outdoors. Okay, and malapit na talaga. Actually, nag-exist na rin siya, no? Autonomous vehicles. I think Tesla have already started working on self-driven cars. They have cars that are you basically have to tag the routes, okay, and it will drive for itself. Okay? Autonomous vehicles, autonomous shuttles and buses, autonomous boats and drones will soon be existing in the future. Okay? And maybe that future will be tomorrow, right? So those are the things that we have to look into when we are uh, improving our tourism system. Okay, so basically we have to the end of my presentation. So here are some of my key takeaways that I wish to share with you as part of my wrap up. So the tourism industry is an ever-changing industry. Tourism professionals need to retrain, upskill, and prepare them in this very dynamic industry because if you do not retrain, if you do not upskill, and if you do not prepare yourself, definitely you will be sinking into the deepest hole of this industry. Okay. Um, Tourism products are in constant struggle on being relevant in the changing tourist behavior, preferences, and purchase intentions. We need to upgrade and update our product offerings as frequent as possible. And lastly, we can never slow down the technological advancements in our industry. Either we adopt it or we become obsolete at all. And so with that, maraming salamat po. Thank you, Northwest Samar State University, at mabuhay ang turismo.